So this week I decided to work on the waterfall effect for the slides and to start getting proof of concept for that. And so here is the finished product I have so far. And today I'm going to show you how I created it. So the first thing I needed to do was install the universal render pipeline and the shader graph pack. So what we have to do is go over to Window, go down to Package Manager, and then scroll all the way down to shader graph. In the bottom right corner, mine says remove, but it'll say install here. You want to install that. And then you also want to install the universal render pipeline in the same spot you can install it. And so what this basically does is allow for better graphics and allows you to use the shader graph for your project. And so how I created this was I created the model in Blender, pretty simple. And then I right click down here, go to Create, Shader, over down to Universal Render Pipeline, and then I did an unlit shader graph. And then once you create that, you're going to want to double click it, and that takes you over to the shader graph. So what you see here is everything that I built out over the week. But what you're going to start with is just this box up here in these four components. So now I'm going to go over some of the parts of it. So I first start out with the UV, and what this does is it gives you the colors that you're able to use that go to the shader. And so next I had to connect that over to this add over here, so I could combine two different paths over to the Veroni, which is what gives it the randomness effect of the water flowing. And so after connecting it to this, I added this time thing, which makes it flow. And then I added ripple speed up here through this plus, which you have all these. And so what this does, basically, it's the speed at which the water flows. And you can see over here, you're able to change it. Maybe go faster or slower, maybe go up or down, stuff like that. And then this box here, the Veroni scale down here, this basically changes how many you have. So if you increase it, you have more. Bring it back to where it was. There's less. 2 is even less. 1. I can do that 10 because that's enough. And then the rise speed is basically how fast it flows. So if you increase it to 5, it goes faster. Decrease it, slower. And so then moving over here, ripple amount, it's basically makes them slightly bigger and to increase the amount. And that all goes over into this, which leads into this, which helps customize color better. And then down here, where it splits off into, basically makes it go from like a darker blue to a more white color, as you can see down here in the preview. Or at the very top, it makes it darker and then makes it lighter at the very bottom. So that's what this all does. So now that I have this built, I can now drop it over into my project. And so basically what I had to do was right click on the shader I used, go over to create once again, and down to material. Once you click on material, it generates material for you, and you're able to drag it right on over to the object you want to put it on. It's easy as that. So now that I've proved this out, the next step is to go back into Blender and have this flow all the way down the slide entirely, and then also to add ripple effects down at the very bottom here, which I'll have in the next video for you guys. Thanks.